Hi, all my hair fell off. We don't have to talk about it. Hello. I'm Sophie welcome back to my channel and welcome to NaNoWRIMO. I'm gonna take this bracelet off before it makes me mad. Okay, by the time you see this, we're already halfway through October. Oopsies. But we still have half the month to prep for Nano. We will make the best use of those 2 weeks as possible. Promise. But here is my plan. Here's my plan for Camp Nano. I have been working on it. Don't think that I have not throughout the month, throughout the past few months. But here's my official announcement, I guess, of my NaNoWRIMO project for this year, because I will be trying to participate. We'll see how that goes. I'm hoping for the best, as per usual. We'll see what I actually achieve. Anyways, my goal is to write the zero draft of Project Moss. You may be wondering, what is Project Moss? Project Moss is the second book in the Project What trilogy. Very exciting stuff. I'm hoping with everything in my bones that I can get the zero draft done in November, because I need this story out of me. Because if it stays in here, it's just gonna keep evolving into something else and something bigger, and it'll never get done. It'll never get done. So I'm hoping with everything I have that I can actually get a story out and actually like get this ball rolling. Also, I am using this as a way to distract myself from Project What, the first book, because that is currently with beta readers. I'll have a vlog about that later this month, hopefully. Project Moss is my distraction from Project What, because I'm scared. And also, this was my project for NaNoWRIMO last year, Project Moss. I tried to write it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna like pants it. I'm gonna be like so fun and quirky and try and just write it with like a loose outline. That crashed and burned in like the first week, which is awesome. But the main issue was the fact that I didn't have an outline, and also that the entire book is now rendered obsolete because of how I changed book 1, and that literally nothing that I had plotted for book 2 last year would make any sense now that I've rewritten book 1. So that's fun. That's awesome. And now that I have a better grasp of Project What as a whole, and that book's really been reworked and hopefully structured better, fingers crossed, that's for me to figure out later when I get my beta feedback. But now that I know that story better, at least, I can better plot, figure out the stakes for book 2, because before it was kind of like, oh, what do we do now? And now it's a little more concrete, which is very nice. So the goal is to write the zero draft of Project Moss. Like, it's already, like, it's cooking in my brain, and I want to write it, and the zero draft's probably gonna suck. It's definitely not gonna be up to draft 3 level writing, of course, which I'm scared of. That might be demotivating in a sense, but I'm hoping I can like block that voice out of my head. Not what we need to think about right now. But zero draft, yes, okay. Now, the prep that would need to be done, yay. If you watched my last Project What vlog, writing vlog, I can't remember what I titled it, I'll put it up here, you would know a little bit about this project, because I started working on it then. I did some kind of like loose, laid back work on it, trying to just world build what I could, flesh out the characters a little bit, something, you know, just little tidbits. So there is a lot left that I need to do, both world building and plotting as a whole. That needs to get done, and it's extra important because this book really dives into the history of the world that these characters live in and what got them to their situation now, which, if you don't know, if you don't know, and if you care, Project What takes place on an island in the middle of the Pacific that is sort of serving as a safe haven, in quotes, from the radiation that has taken over much of the rest of the world because of a worldwide nuclear war. Very exciting things, but book 2 really goes deeper into that history, how that relates to the antagonist group that I have in book 1, as well as other ways people tried to escape the radiation. And it dives deeper into all of it. All of the fictional things that were like in book 1 are getting fleshed out in book 2 to really bring in the whole island and the whole world into these characters' lives. And that is all needing to be world built, or I've already done some of it. I'll get into that in a second, but all of it is fictional. All of it is stuff I need to come up with. Obviously it's zero draft, so I don't need to know like everything, but having a basic grasp would be nice. So I do have a pretty good amount of this figured out. I have a lot of world building, a lot of basic outlining, and some like character stuff, because okay, I'm gonna talk about this. I am adding 2 minor perspectives in this book. It's gonna end up being 4/5 point of views, because we have the 3 main characters who are gonna be the main point of view for the book. And then there's 2 more characters that come up in book 1 that are a lot more significant in this book, that are gonna have minor point of views. So they're definitely not gonna be shown as much as the other 3, but they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there, and I need to figure out their character-ness in order to write them. I need to be inside their minds, because in book 1 we're not. And it was a lot easier that way, because we got to like see their outward self, and now I need to figure out their inward self so we can all know their inward self. Am I making any sense? Anyways, I have it all in a digital notebook because, you know, the environment. Don't look at all the books behind me. I love the trees, okay? I promise. But it is in a digital notebook. I found that it makes organizing all my notes a lot easier, because you can just shift stuff around if you need more space. I can show you some here. They are kind of a mess. My handwriting is awful. If you thought my handwriting was bad on paper, wait until you see it digitally. It is terrible. Anything I think of, I write down at some point. I have like book quotes in there that were relevant to the story. I've got drawings that I've done just for reference and because I thought they looked cool on the page. It's all in there. It's all in there. And that is like, that's where everything is going for this book, is on my iPad in this little notebook. And then that's all world building, okay? Then I have to actually plot it. I have to actually outline the book. But since a lot of it is gonna be, I guess, told to me, it's gonna be figured out in the world building, I'm hoping that outlining won't be too gruesome, because as I world build, I'm getting little plot notes, and then those are like the main points that I want to hit, and then I can just flesh those out and then put some stuff in between, and then we have a book. And then another thing I really need to focus on for this one, or at least partially focus on, I need a basic idea of, is research. Yay! I say that sarcastically. I love research. So this book takes place on a very real Earth with a very fictional nuclear war occurring about 100 years in the past. And the world had been almost completely abandoned by humanity, either because everyone died or because they left their irradiated homes to join this island. And the world has also been transformed by this radiation, because it mutates cells. It literally mutates organisms. So I need to figure out, one, how like cityscapes and neighborhoods and all that human-made stuff would change without humans there to maintain it, and two, how organisms, plants, animals, anything, change with increased radiation on their systems. Right now, I am doing pretty basic research because, well, I mean, first of all, there's not a ton of concrete research done on this kind of stuff, because it's dangerous, and not ethical, but I want a basic idea. I want something to build off of, okay? I don't want to be completely inaccurate. So I have two books. I have two books for the task. One is called Atoms and Ashes. It's about nuclear accidents and their political, economical, environmental, health, all of it effects. And I have A World Without Us, that, I mean, the title explains it, but that one helps cover what happens if humans just up and abandoned everything ever. So gonna be reading those, taking some notes, jotting some things down, and hopefully getting a decent backbone for the fictional world of my silly little universe. Anyways, as a recap, because I rambled a little too much, these are the steps. These are the steps that we need to take to get to NaNoWRIMO and then to do NaNoWRIMO. 1. Research with the 2 books that I mentioned. 2. Finish the world building. That's how the island they live on runs. That's the history of the war that their ancestors survived. That's more information on the antagonist group that they're trying to take down, I guess. That's probably a couple other things that I can't even think of right now that will come up. That will come up later and make me want to cry a little bit. But world building. 3. Outlining the book. Taking all the stuff I world built and giving it significance in a storyline. Hoping it'll be that simple. As I go through the characters and each of their like arcs for the story, plotting will get a little bit easier. But right now, in this moment in time, all I have is conflicting motivations. I have conflicting motivations, and that is it. But as I work through the characters more, I'm hoping that their individual plot lines will come out to me. Praying, hoping, and praying. And then, finally, step 4 is to write the dang thing. Duh. And I don't know how long this novel will be. Probably less than the 50k that's on the website. I would not be surprised if it was less, probably way less. But we're gonna use the website anyways. We're gonna use the website anyways because that's how we roll. That's how we roll around here. But that is it. That's all I have. I am so sorry for how all over the place this video was. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully any of that made sense. Sorry if it didn't. But very exciting stuff. I've been wanting to write this book literally since last year. I knew going into Nano last year that I did not prepare enough to actually write a book, and I went along with it anyways because I'm stupid. This time, I think I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. Will I put it into practice? We will see what happens. We will see what happens. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. What are your plans for Nano? If you're doing it, if you're participating. I know the end of the year gets like crazy busy, and like November is probably the second worst time to do a writing challenge. The first worst being December. But if you are participating, what are you doing? What are your goals? What are you writing? I would love to know. Put it down in the comments. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Wow.